everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Camille and I read and review clean and Christian fiction. Today we are going to be talking about all the books on my physical TBR. There's a lot of them if you saw the intro clips. I'm not quite sure how I want to go about this except for I have them organized roughly by genre and then author and then alphabetically. So I think we're gonna try. The way I took them off the shelves doesn't really work for that way though. So I think we're just going to go with it. And then these aren't gonna be in any specific order except for I'm gonna separate them by fantasy, historical fiction, and contemporary fiction. And then that's how we'll separate them. First though, we have kind of a mixed group because I'm going to show you the ones on my immediate TBR first. So the ones I'm really excited to get to, and then we'll go from there. So the first one that I am really looking forward to getting to is Daughter of the Rebellion by Jamie Ogle. I just finished reading As Sure as the Sea at the beginning of this month, and I loved it so much. I really looking forward to reading this book. I already have tabs picked out for it because I know I'm going to need them. So this book is about Adelgard, I think is how you would say that. And she is a Visigoth, but she follows her father to war, and when she follows him to war, she gets captured by the Roman army and sold to a gladiator school, and she becomes a gladiatrix in Rome. That's all I really know. I haven't read the whole back of it. I just know it's about a female gladiator, and what else do you need to know? I know this is going to be so good. It might make me cry. It quite possibly might make me cry. So that's the first one on my immediate TBR. We have A Brood Awakening by Pepper Basham. This is her newest release. And all I know about this is it's set in a small town in North Carolina. It's about a rival tea shop owner and pub owner, and he's English. She loves all things English, but I think he really kind of irritates her, and that's all I really know about it. It's super cute. The spine is pink, and so is the back, which I need more pink spines. These are my contemporary books. I need more pink in my life. Obviously, my favorite color is pink. I love this. I'm so excited. This next one is on my 26 books in 2026 list. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up here so you guys can go watch it. This is The Thief of Llanwyn Manor. This is book 2 in the Cornwall novels by Sarah E. Ladd. I love this cover, you guys. It's so pretty. Look at it. It's so pretty. I don't really know anything about this book, but I just read The Governess of Penwith Hall last month, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm super excited to read this one. The next book I'm super excited to read is Flame Theory by C.F.E. Black. I backed this book on Kickstarter. This is my Kickstarter copy. It has super cool sprayed edges, insane. And the back, too, is so pretty. There's character art on the inside and dispersed throughout the book as well, which is really cool. Sorry, there's a glare. So I'm super excited to get into this one. I love C.F.E. Black. I have read her Fae books. What are they again? Of course, I have them. They're right up here. They're the ones, oops, it's hard to point when you're looking at the camera. They're the ones with the printed edges right there. I've read both of those, and I'm really wanting to read her other series as well this year. It's on my 26 and 2026 list. This book is basically, how it's pitched is, what if How to Train Your Dragon took place and there is a mafia, I think. So I'm super excited to read this one. It's part of book 1 in a series, and I'm really looking forward to it. The next book I want to get to soon is Into a Golden Era by Gabrielle Meyer. This is book 7 in the Timeless series, and I love this series so much. Some of them I haven't loved quite as much as others, but I've heard good things about this one, so I'm looking forward to it. It is set during the California Gold Rush in 1849 and the Golden Age of Hollywood in 1929, so that should be super interesting. Those are two very different time periods, so that should be really interesting. Then next up is Son of Truth by Morgan L. Bussey. This is book 2 in the Follower of the Word series. I'm really wanting to finish this series this summer before the last book in her Nordic Wars trilogy comes out. This book, even though it was written first, is kind of like a sequel series to the Nordic Wars. So I am really wanting to finish this before book 3 comes out and before I reread the other 2. That way I can get like the full experience. And then the next book is Protector by Megan Shawless. This is book 1 in the Sousa Chronicles. This is like a dystopian kind of Esther retelling, I think. I don't know if it's a retelling or if it's inspired by, but that's what this is. It is about Novalis, and she, like Esther, gets chosen for the position of the king's protector. So that's kind of like the vibe, the Esther vibe in it, I think. So I've heard mixed things about this book, but I'm really excited for it, and I'm looking forward to reading it. I have book 2 on my Kindle, so I'm looking forward to that. Open this curtain here. It's blocking some of my light. Okay, I don't know if that'll make much of a difference, but also you guys can't see it. I'm just gonna tilt the camera back. Look at that empty shelf up there. That's where all my TBR books were, you guys. Not even all of them. I still have a whole TBR cart right there. We're gonna go through. We'll get to it, don't worry. Okay, the next book on my immediate TBR is Labyrinth Wolves by Victoria McCombs. This is book 2 in the duology. I don't know what the duology is called. The Labyrinth duology? Something. I don't know. But I want to finish reading this series this summer because book 3 is coming out closer to the end of the year, and so I want to be ready for it. Victoria McCombs is one of my favorite authors, so I'm really looking forward to that. Then we have Illuminary by Shauna Schroeder. This is book 1 in the Scepter and Stylus series, and I believe book 2 is out now. If it's not out now, which I think it is, it will be out soon. This book is, I think it's kind of like a fantasy reimagining of A Little Princess, which is all I need to know. And the cover is beautiful. As always, with all Enclave books, the cover's so pretty. Look at the foil, too. The foil design on the covers is one of my favorite part of Enclave books, you guys. They're always so pretty. Then we have Between the Shadows by Grace R. Pringle. The author sweetly sent this book to me to read and review, and I need to get to it. So I am looking forward to it. It is about Solnia, and she's happy with her life. She's content, and her quiet life is upended when she runs into a blind stranger in the street. His hints about a dark past and wrongs done to him consume her with curiosity and pull her into a world filled with riddles. Why do his eyes glow in the dark? What does he want with the ancient texts kept in the city archives? So she's actually writing book 2 right now, so that's really exciting. If you guys watched my last wrap up, that I am currently obsessed with the Agape Bearer series. I have bought all the books except for the one that just came out, even though I've only barely started book 2. And these are chunky, and they are very tall, very heavy, but I'm so excited to get to these. This one, I think is gonna break my heart from what I've seen, but I could not be more ready. I love these covers. I love the colors. They're so pretty. So I can't tell you what these are about. I'm not going to read the back because I don't want to know what they're about because I haven't even finished book 2 yet. But the spines are super pretty, and all the colors when they're on the shelves all together, they just look so pretty. Okay, so now I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to grab these and I'll just have to reorganize them later, which is going to be a nightmare, but I did it to myself. So I'm going to try to keep all the authors together, which should be easy. So we're going to start with fantasy. This is a middle grade book. I think I got this. I'm not sure why I got it. The Inkwell Chronicles, The Ink of Elspeth. I'm not sure why I got it because I don't really read middle grade So I'm not sure if I'll be keeping this book. The tagline says, a mysterious train wreck, a bottle of ink, a giant near invisible pigeon, and that's just the beginning. So it's about these two siblings who their father goes missing and they are left with nothing but questions and a curious old pen. But they soon discover that the pen is far from ordinary. Its magical ink can create anything imaginable. And I'm trying to remember, I feel like I might have saw Lindsay from BFCG talk about this book, or maybe it was Celestia. I don't know, but whatever they talk about, I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting, not thinking, Camille, you don't really read middle grade. It's fine. So that's the first one on my fantasy TBR. The next one, okay, and then I have a bunch of Enclave books, and I did buy some of them full price, but quite a few of them I got last fall when Amazon was having this crazy sale on like Enclave hardcovers. They were like $5 or $4, and I was like, duh, Enclave, duh, I'm gonna buy these. So the first one from that particular sale is The Time Door by Shannon McDermott, and I guess this is technically sci-fi. I have all my fantasy and sci-fi mixed together, also indie authors and traditionally published authors mixed together, so I'll try to tell you guys which one they are. I also want to say in this video, I haven't read any of these, and I know for sure they're all no spice, closed door books, but I cannot personally recommend any of these yet because I haven't read any of them. So we're just going over my physical TBR together, and if you guys have read any of them, let me know what you thought of them in the comments because I've got a lot of books. So this book, The Time Door, is a sci-fi. It is book 1 in the Eternities duology. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that's cool. Okay, what is this book about? I don't even know. I think it has something to do with Mars. I don't usually read book blurbs. If I know it's no spice, I usually just buy it because of the cover. The only time I ever try to find out content and stuff is if it's from an author or publishing house that I'm not too sure about. So it says, a reckless last mission on Mars, a crusade for justice on Earth. Something about in the shambles of the Great Collapse. Earth has abandoned the Mars explorers to their fate, but Reuben will make a stand for the Mars team, even against the powerfully united politicians and scientists. In Too Deep, he discovers hidden conspiracies and unexpected allies. That's just the first part of the blurb. This cover is super cool, and I really want to read more sci-fi, so that's why it's on this list. Okay, I'm going to try to keep these stacked as nicely as I can, even though I have to reorganize them. Okay, the next series, which is a series I have, is the Royal Rose Chronicles by Victoria McCombs. We have Oathbound, Silver Bounty, and Savage Bread. And I am really itching to get my hands on these. These books actually probably need to go on my immediate TBR because I want to read them so bad. After I finish Labyrinth Wolves, this is my next Victoria McCombs read. This is about pirates. And that's all I really know. I don't know too much about it except for there's pirates and I think they have magical tattoos or something. I started listening to the first audiobook a while ago, but I didn't ever finish it. I don't think I was in the right mood for it. I think I'd have better luck reading it. I also got all of these on a crazy Amazon sale, hence why these two are paperback and this one's hardcover. Does it drive me crazy? Yes, but I can't do anything about it now, so it's fine. Okay, I'm actually putting those on my short list. And then we have the Chaos Grid by Lindsay Llewellyn. Oh, those Victoria McCombs books were all Enclave. This one is also Enclave. Do we have a foil? Whoa. Yes, we do. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, so this book is, I think it's actually more dystopian than, I think it's sci-fi dystopian because it's about a futuristic Texas. It says, when mankind's attempts to control nature backfire, Texas descends into a wasteland. Storms rage and ravenous beasts roam the outer grid. The only safe havens rest inside the tech-obsessed dome cities. But when her parents are murdered inside the Plex City Dome, 17-year-old Juniper Conway wants revenge. I'm not going to read the whole thing. These covers are super pretty. I feel like I have the second one on my Kindle. So that's good. I'm very excited to get to this one. The spine, I never see spines on Instagram, and so whenever I do YouTube videos, I'm like, I'm gonna show you guys the spines. Also, this is gonna be a long video, you guys. We're not even halfway through. So yeah, get a cup of coffee, buckle up, get a snack, maybe have some lunch. I don't know, whatever. If you want to just turn me on while you're like washing dishes, that's what I do when I watch YouTube videos. I hardly ever just sit down and watch a YouTube video. I'm always doing something else, making content, working in my reading journal, doing chores around the house, whatever. That's what I do when I'm watching YouTube videos. So, the Chaos Grid. I'm really excited for that one. I've heard so many good things about that one. Okay, we have another Enclave book. I got this book in their Black Friday sale, I think, last year. Does this one have a foil? Nope, but the spine is cool, and it's white. That's a little scary. The Just Jacket will never come off of this one because this cover is white. Okay, this is Wolf Soldier by James R. Hannibal. What is this book about? Let's find out. Can you tell I buy books just based on covers? Actually, I think I did read this description. The fate of the Dragonlands are at play. The Knights of the Light Raider Order disappeared nearly 2 generations past. Now, the Keladin have withdrawn behind their barriers, and the Dragonlands of bordering Tenelithar are overrun with dark oppression. The people are living in disobedience to the rescuer who freed them long ago. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it sounds really interesting, so I really like the cover as well. Oh, there's a map. We love maps. Maps are great. Okay. Yet another hard Enclave book, Echo Nova by Clint Hall. I can't tell you what this one is about. This is about a guy, and he gets the opportunity to compete in a competition that like sends him back in time. Pretty much, I think. Okay, here's the foil. That's cool. Okay, so yeah, I got this one, I think, pretty sure from Amazon's sale as well. This is science fiction. So Echo Nova, and then we have Steel Fire from the Gods. This is also Clint Hall. The Human Alliance knew the war was over when the machines started using magic to cast fire, shake the ground, conjure storms, and part the seas. We fought back anyway. I think this has something to do with, oh yep, AI-driven war machines. That's terrifying. Okay, look at the foil though. I haven't looked at that one. Ooh, that one's really pretty. Okay. That's what this one is about. I hope I'm not going through these too fast, but we got to kind of try to keep it rolling here so we don't spend too much time on these. Okay, and then I have Kickstarter editions of these books. I've already read the first one, that's why I'm not showing it to you guys. But we have Evergreen Conservatory by Heather Schneider and Evergreen Legacy. These covers, look at this. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at the back. They're really pretty. Okay, so these are books 2 and 3 in the Society of Magical Botanists series. Look at the spines. They're so pretty. They're so shiny and sparkly. Whenever I publish my own book, I'd love to have foil on it. That is so cool. Basically, it's a book series about a magical college that teaches plant magic. And I can't tell you any more than that because I don't remember what the first book's about. I really need to reread it before I read these two. So we've got those two. Okay, next we have Breath of Bones and Flight of Fate by Trisha and Nathan Goyer. These are books 1 and 2 in the Clockwork Chronicles. And book 3 is coming out in June. I think I just got an e-arc of the book 3, so that's exciting. It says, when darkness falls, a new guardian emerges. And I don't know how to say these names. I guess it's Katarina. has always aspired to walk in her father's footsteps as a respected journalist, and the Second World War presents a unique opportunity for her to prove her worth to the world. A tip about an assassination attempt on a high-ranking Nazi official, Reinhard Heydrich, I don't know, the Butcher of Prague, leads Katerina into the shadows of the Nazi occupation. Soon she discovers things are not as they seem. So this is like fantasy, but it's like historical fantasy because it's set during World War II. So that will be very interesting. Oh, I gotta look at the foils. It's book 2's foil, and then book 1. That's cool. Okay. Breath of Bones is also on my 26 and 2026 TBR. Okay. So then we have Unraveling and Unbreakable by Sarah Ella. This is books 2 and 3 in the Unblemished trilogy. I can't explain the first book, but I've read it. I need to reread it before I read these 2. But I really need to get to these 2 because they've been sitting on my bookshelves for like, what is this year? 2024. 2 years probably. I think I bought them in the summer of 2024, so these need to get read because they've been sitting on my shelf. But I bought them used, hence why this one is ripped. That's sad. So sad. And this one is a little worse for wear as well. But it's okay. It's fine. Okay. Oh boy, guys. This next book, I'm so scared of. I'm so scared. It's not even funny. Okay. Swords of Soul and Shadow by Allie Ernest. This is book 3 in the Gate Chronicles. Look, okay, first, this is the first reason I'm scared of it. Look how thick it is. You guys, I can't with all these thick books. I think I like thick books, and then I get the thick book, and I get it, and I get, like, stress paralyzed because I'm like, how am I supposed to read it? And the font is, like, super small. So I'm just like, help me. But this is book 3, and the other reason I'm scared of it is because I don't want any characters to die. And I'm really concerned about Case and Hallie, and I just haven't read it yet. And I'm being a chicken, and I need to read it. But I'm a chicken. Did I say that already? Yeah, okay, I'm chicken. The next book I've had for probably a year and a half on my TBR is The Healer's Apprentice by Melanie Dickerson. I love medieval books. And this whole series, I know it's YA, but this whole series is medieval, like fantasy, based off of fairy tales, I think. Is this the one that's based off of fairy tales? I don't know. I really want to read it so I can read the other ones. Hopefully I can get to this one soon. Wow, this font is kind of small too. I don't like books with small font. Call me lazy. I don't like them. Okay, this book I'm actually probably also going to move up to my immediate TBR is Where the Darkness Cannot Follow by A.M. Dalen. A.M. Dalen is one of my favorite authors ever, and if you guys have not read A.M. Dalen, particularly the Imperial Guardian series, you need to. You're missing out on so much heartbreak and misery. And really good characters and really good plot and really sweet romance. So, you know, this book is not part of her Imperial Guardian saga. This is book 1 of the Luminors trilogy, which we haven't heard anything about in a long time, which is fine. Kind of why I haven't wanted to start it yet, because I'm like, but I want to at least know like when book 2 is coming, but I don't think it's going to be for a while. So we're just going to read it. This book is about Ezra, and he is marked by the bronze crescent said to corrupt one's soul at 18 years old, and he is among the few able to fight the vicious nether beasts ravaging Parandan. But when the family he suffered to protect betrays him for his treasonous beliefs, Ezra loses everything he's risked his soul for. And then he meets Varen. She's the kingdom's only hope, but can he keep her alive? So, I'm excited for this book. This is actually, I think, her debut novel. So this book is going on my short list. Watch me add 10 more books to my short list while I'm going through all these. This is not good. This is not good. I'm also terrified of this book. I don't even have to say anything. Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is Haymitch's book. I don't want to read it. I'm so scared. Okay, so I'm currently rereading the Hunger Games books that are out because I wanted to have it all fresh in my mind, which is quite possibly a mistake, which it might make the heartbreak worse. I don't know. So, yeah, I really don't have to say anything else, do I? I don't think so. Does this have anything on the... Oh. I don't think I really have to say anything else. Haymitch's book. I can't do it. The only thing that would be worse if it was Finnick's book. That would be the only thing that would be worse than this. Next, we have Above the Circle of the Earth by Stephen E. Burnett. This is an Enclave book. It's another sci-fi. I don't know what it's about. It's pretty chunky, though, compared to some of the other Enclave books I have. Okay, the fight for the space mission begins in his own homeworld. So it's about a Martian colony, and it's about him fighting to protect his family, I think, and resisting the enemies of the space mission. So, here's the foil. I'm getting text messages. Okay. And then, okay, I'm moving this one to my short list too. You guys, this is so bad. Oh, okay. Sparrow in the Sun by Danielle Bolin. I want to read this book so bad because book 3 is coming out, I think, fall, end of summer. I don't know if there's an official release date yet, but I have seen so many people in the author's marketing I love, but so many people say this is so Tolkien coded. So I am like, I need more Tolkien coded books because that's like the book I'm writing is kind of Tolkien coded. Hopefully, I don't know if I can ever pull that off, but we're gonna try. Sparrow in the Sun is about Ines Finch has hidden away in the mountains, attempting to find a way to save her people from the bloodshed that has hounded them since the death of the king 15 years ago. She has fought, and time has fought against her, and now there are soldiers at the door with a wounded officer demanding help. To aid would put everything she has worked for at risk, but to refuse would mean death. Okay, this kind of reminds me of Once I Knew. Like, it sounds similar, and I don't think it's similar, but it sounds similar to Once I Knew by Victoria Lynn. So this is going on my short list. I really want to read it this summer. Is it on my 26 and 2026 list? I don't think so, but it probably should have been. We are almost done with the fantasy books. Okay, we're not doing as bad as I thought. This video is going to be like an hour long. I hope you're enjoying it. Okay, so then I have the Omnibus Editions Volumes 1 and 2 of the Legends of Lanarnia. I cannot say this book series. Legends of Lanarnia. Yes, I want to say Lanarnia because that's what it looks like, but there's only one N, not two. Okay, so this is technically, I think, 6 books with short stories. So that is interesting. The first book in this series is called The Lady of Lanarnia, and I've read it. I'm going to have to read it again. But it's kind of like a medieval Rapunzel retelling, kind of, I think, is the vibe. And am I missing books? Oh no. They're buried under my historical fiction. Yikes. Okay, so I got distracted. These are really pretty. I don't know much about this series except for it's medieval fantasy. And is it non-magical? I want to say yes, but I don't remember. So it could be non-magical. I'm not sure of the answer to that. Okay, and then we have Heir of Hope by Morgan L. Bussey. This is book 3 in the Follower of the Word trilogy. I think these covers are really pretty. Slightly creepy, which is probably the point, but really pretty. And then we have Cry of the Raven. Yep, I got it right. I keep cutting my head off. I gotta remember not to step too close to the camera, but I get excited. This is book 3 in the Ravenwood saga. I want to finish this series so bad. I loved book 1. I loved book 2, but it's been so long since I read them that now I have to reread book 1 and 2 before I do that. And I just haven't had time to reread them because I'm rereading and reading a lot of other books right now. So I really want to finish this series this year, though. It's so good. I love it so much. Book 1 and book 2 are amazing. So there's that one. Hold on. I got to do some reorganizing over here. Fine. Okay. Okay, it wasn't as buried as I was worried it was. So hold on. Don't fall. Don't fall. Don't fall. Okay. It didn't fall, in case I know you guys were really worried that it was going to fall. I don't even know if I'll keep that in. Okay. Then we have the Threshold duology by Catherine Briggs. Ooh, this book has a Realm Award. So these are Enclave. The Eternity Gate and the Immortal Abyss. I don't know anything about these, but look at the covers. How could I not buy them? It says, destroy the key, save her people and herself. The Eternity Gate is found, and kings and monsters battle over its legends of treasure, but rumors whisper that someone stole the gate's ancient key. Interesting. I don't want to read the rest of it. Look at that foil. It's so pretty. Well, look at the other one here. There's the key. So that first one has a keyhole. That one has a key. Interesting. Sometimes I feel like I'm kind of like all over the place in these videos because I don't really read the blurbs before I buy a lot of these books because I'm just like, oh, pretty cover, pretty cover, pretty cover. But I also find lots of cool books that way because I like to be surprised. I don't want to know all the tropes and everything before I read a book. Although sometimes I do see an author marketing stuff on Instagram and like they have the tropes and I'm like, yeah, like totally, let's do that. But I also like to be surprised with my book content. So it's 50-50. Fox by Nadine Brandes. This is historical fantasy and it is like a fantasy reimagining of the story of Guy Fawkes with masked color magic. I think this is one of my sister's favorite books. So I really need to read it. This is non-Enclave book, so it doesn't have any pretty anything on the hardcover, but Nadine Brandes, always, always, always. You could never go wrong with Nadine Brandes. I feel like every Nadine Brandes book I've read, I've loved. Okay, and this series in particular was purchased because of that series. The Fireborn Epic series, one of my favorite epic fantasy series ever. So we have the Songkeeper Chronicles by Gillian Bronte Adams, who is the author of the Fireborn Epic series. We have Orphan Song, Songkeeper, and Song of Lyra. Do I know what these books are about? No. Do I care? No, because it's Gillian Bronte Adams, and if I love the Fireborn Epic, then I'll probably love these books too. We haven't really gone in alphabetical order, but now we're kind of messing it up the way it was organized, because we have Unearth the Tides by Alyssa J. Zavalinos. This is a 10,000 Leagues 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea fantasy retelling. Do I know anything about that book? No. Did I buy it because it's Alyssa J. Zavalinos? Yes. That's your answer. And then we have The Earth Treader by Alyssa J. Zavalinos. And I think that means I own all her books except for one. The middle grade one. I think. So this says no surging. Oh, that's like a poem. I'm not going to read that part. 18-year-old Rilla has always wanted to fly, but being human has its limitations. As a cartographer's daughter in the Earthen Crest Kingdom's boot of Ilati, Rilla wants more than anything to know the whereabouts of her brothers, even if it means finding them herself. But there's one problem. She's afraid to venture too far from home. There's a talking cat in this book. It'll be good. Alyssa's books are always really good. And they're always so beautiful. The prose is always like so pretty. So looking forward to that one. Okay. The Whispers of the Wind by Abigail G. Thompson. This is book 1 in her Halcyon Epic series, which I think she's still writing. This is her debut novel. I haven't told you guys if any of these are indie books or not. I'm so sorry. Oh well, you'll figure it out. She was told never to ask questions, but what about when murder is involved? Emma Ambrose has lived a life of privilege and safety inside her father's arms ever since her mother mysteriously disappeared when she was a girl, leaving Emma bereft and lonely. That is before he is dragged away on accounts for murder and treason. I'm not reading anymore. We'll see. Okay, and then the last books on my fantasy TBR. I know I just said I don't read middle grade. This and The Green Ember are an exception to that. And Percy Jackson, I guess. But I wouldn't count Percy Jackson as middle grade. I feel like it's more YA. We have The Monster in the Hollows. Oh, these books are heavy. The Warden and the Wolf King, and then The Wingfeather Tales, which this one will be fun. I'm not scared of that one. But this one, I'm terrified. I may or may not have found out what happens at the end of the book. Because I do that to myself. Not on purpose, but sometimes I accidentally do that and find out the ending and find out the spoiler, and then it makes me sad, and then I don't want to read books. So yeah, the rest of the Wingfeather Chronicles, I need to finish this series. Then I can just finish it, and then I can be sad, and then I can move on with my life. So I'm not sitting and constantly dreading it. Plus, I want to put them up here with its friends. They've been sitting up there for so long by themselves. We are going to move on to historical fiction. And the first book, again, this is not in order because I messed up the order. It's fine. The French Kitchen by Christy Kimbron. This book is like a book about Julia Child. Yeah. So that'll be really interesting. Julia Child is a chef, and that's all I really know. But I'm excited to read this book. Okay, then the next book is also a Christy Kimbron book, and this is The Illusionist's Apprentice. This is a book about... It says, set during one of the richest, most vibrant eras in American history, this jazz age novel of illusion, suspense, and forgotten past is perfect for fans of The Magician's Lie, challenging all to find the underpinnings of faith in their own life stage. So I'm pretty sure she works for an... Oh, she's apprenticed to Houdini. I knew he was involved somehow. Okay, so that'll be really interesting. I keep saying that about all of these books. Of course, that'll be interesting. Isn't that the reason you bought all of these books? My brain. I don't know. Okay. The Far Side of the Sea by Kate Breslin. This book is about World War I, and it says, in 1918 England, Lieutenant Colin Mabry spends his days decoding messages for M18 after suffering injuries on the front. When he receives an urgent summons by carrier pigeon from Jewel Ryer, a woman who saved his life and whom he believed to be dead, he can only hope he'll regain the courage he lost on the front lines as he's driven back into war-torn France. That's only part of the blurb, but sounds interesting. Yeah, this book has been on my shelf for a long time too. So, yep. Okay, the next one is The Letter Tree by Rachel Fordham. I just went over this book with you guys on my book haul, so I'm not really going to say that much about it. Except for, I'm excited to read this book. I think it's going to be super good. I don't know which one of these comes first, but In the Shelter of Hollythorn House and The Letter from Briarton Park. I actually think I've read this one before or listened to the audiobook. I guess we'll find out. They are Regency novels, Sarah E. Ladd. I have discovered I really like Sarah E. Ladd's like Regency novel writing style. It's just really easy to read and yet it's really engaging. So I'm trying to decide which one of these is first. I have no idea. Okay, this says, in Regency, England, one letter will alter a young woman's fate when it summons her to Briarton Park, an ancient place that holds the secrets of her past and the keys to her future. And then this one says, a young widow faces an uncertain future until an unexpected encounter with her first love gives her heart a second chance in this Regency romance set on the Yorkshire moors. Okay, this one's first love. Second chance. Okay. Sounds good to me. I also have A Lady at Willowgrove Hall by Sarah E. Ladd. It says, her secret cloaks her in isolation and loneliness. His secret traps him in a life that is not his own. And this is set in 1819, so it's another Regency. I'm pretty sure all she does is Regency. She becomes a lady's companion at Willowgrove Hall. A lady at Willowgrove Hall. Duh. All these covers are so pretty. I just think they're all so pretty. So there's that one. Then another new favorite Regency author is Julie Klassen. This is her new release. This is Whispers at Painswick Court. And it said she expected her return to Painswick would bring memories of the past, not danger and romance. So it says Anne Loveday is a surgeon's daughter determined to live a single useful life. Oh, brother. Another one of those. Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I don't know about that, but this cover is super pretty, and the spine is also really pretty. And then the other Julie Klassen. Oh, are those the only two Klassen novels I have? Huh. I've read the other ones that were on here. Go me. Okay. The Bridge to Belle Island. And this says, after a humiliating mistake, lawyer Benjamin Booker resolves to never again trust a beautiful woman. When an old friend is killed, the senior partner isn't satisfied with Bow Street's efforts and asks Benjamin to investigate. Evidence takes him to a remote island on the Thames, a world unto itself, shrouded in mist and mystery. Soon Benz finds himself falling for the main suspect, a woman who claims not to have left the island in 10 years. But is he a fool to believe her? This cover is also super pretty. So that one is probably going to be really good too. I haven't heard it about, I haven't seen a bunch of people talk about that one. Okay, and then we have The Mark of the King by Jocelyn Green. Oh, look at that. I forgot I started this book. And then I never finished it. Huh. Well, go figure. Life in this new world requires more strength than she ever imagined. Okay, so this is a book I remember. She's a midwife. One of her patients dies. She gets branded as a criminal, and then the English court is sending criminals to colonize America. That's what this book is about. Okay, and then we have Between Two Shores by Jocelyn Green. She is the daughter of a Mohawk mother and a French father in 1759 Montreal. She would rather remain neutral in a world tearing itself apart. So this is the 7 Years' War. Is it about the French and Indian War? Something like that, I think. So she has always moved between two worlds, but now she must choose a side. So this cover is so pretty. So that one looks really interesting. I think I have to be in the right mood for that one. Those two in particular. Okay. Then we have The Belle of Chatham by Laura Franz. I also just talked about this one in my book haul. So this is her new release. I'm excited to read it. It is about the Civil War, the American Civil War. No! The American Revolution. The Civil War. Camille. Why did you think that? Shame on you. Okay. Then we have Born of Gilded Mountains by Amanda Dykes. I have to tell you guys, whenever this book came out, the summer it came out the summer of 2024. I was really excited for it. Also, look at this font. What is it with these books and tiny font, you guys? I don't know. So I remember being super excited for this book whenever it came out, and I started reading it because I pre-ordered it, so I started reading it as soon as I got it. I was so bored. It was so boring. So I probably just wasn't in the right frame of mind. But that's probably why I haven't picked up again, because I was so bored. So this says, legends are tucked into every fold of the Colorado mountains surrounding the quaint town of Mercy Peak, where residents are the stuff of tall tales. The peaks are taller still, and a lost treasure has etched mystery into the very terrain. It sounds good. It really does. I just have to be in the mood for a slower paced book, I think. So, or make myself slow down and enjoy it. Okay, and then I have Yours is the Night by Amanda Dykes. This is a book about World War I. It says, the trenches of the Great War are a shadowed place. Though platoon sergeant Matthew Pettigrew arrived there with a past long marked by shadow, the realities of battle bring new wounds, carving within him a longing for light and a resolve to fight for it. I'm not going to read anymore, but it sounds good. This one sounds a little more interesting than the first one, so I might end up reading that one first. We'll see. Then we have The Weight of Air by Kimberly Duffy. I'm not sure about this book. I've started this book too, and it was just kind of heavy because I think it deals a lot with like postpartum depression in 1911, which wasn't, I don't think people really talked about it. So it says, two women bound by blood, torn apart by circumstance, find together that truth's strength comes in many forms. And it's about these women that are in the circus. So I think it could be good, but I think it's also going to be kind of heavy, which is why I haven't picked it up yet, because I don't really like heavy books. I won that book in a giveaway. And then we have The Heart of the Glen by Jennifer Dybel. This is a book set in Ireland. And it says, can the lonely thread of her life be woven into a new and finer pattern? When Saoirse Fagan arrives at the Drumbo Castle to start her new job as housemaid, she is dismayed to learn that the lord of the house passed away a week prior. Already running from the tragedy that claimed the lives of her family members, Saoirse wanders the road through the darkening glen with nowhere to go until Eileen McCready offers her a lift and a place to stay for the night. Okay, I gotta tell you guys, see, I started this one too, but I just wasn't in the right mood. I liked it, but I just was not in the right mood for historical fiction. I need to finish it though. I need to start it over because it's been a while, because I've had this book also on my... Okay, it's only been on my TBR for 1 year, because I know this was a pre-order as well, and it came out last summer. So that one is probably, I really hope I like this one. I really hope I like this author. I've never read any of her books, but they're all set in Ireland, and I have 3 of them, and I'm just like, I'm going to keep collecting them because the covers are all so pretty, and it's set in Ireland. Duh. I can't, yeah. So this one is The Maid of Ballymacool by Jennifer Dybel, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, this is kind of in like a Cinderella retelling, because she works at the boarding school since she was a wee girl, will likely die there, despite a sense that she was made for something more. She feels powerless to change her situation, so she consoles herself by exploring the Ballymacool grounds, looking for hidden treasures to add to the secret trove beneath the floorboards of her room. It's Cinderella. I'm pretty sure that sounds like Cinderella. So, like that one. And then this one was also in my book haul. I think it was in my book haul. Yes, it was. The Lady of Galway Manor by Jennifer Dybel. This cover, it's my favorite out of all 3 of the ones I have. In the spine, look at the Celtic details on the spine. It's so pretty. I just showed that to you upside down. There you go. Okay. So I'm not going to read you that one because I just talked about that one a couple videos ago. And then we have The Ice Swan by Janelle. It's French. Not even going to try. This says, amid the violent last days of the glittering Russian monarchy, a princess on the run finds her heart where she least expects it. So, 1917, Petrograd. If you're obsessed with Anastasia and the Romanovs, like I am, you thought that. You heard that, and you were like, Anastasia, yes, 100%, I need to read it. And I do need to read this book. Oh, look, it still has the price on it. I got it used. I've had this book for like 2 years. I don't know why I haven't read it, except for I just forgot about it. You know when the book sits so long on your shelf that it's just like you just forget. But look how pretty. I don't know if you can tell, but it has like this really shimmery finish. It's so pretty. So I really want to read that one soon. Okay, and then the last one before we move to my TBR cart is, there's a lot of dog hair on that book. Tell me you live in a house with pets without telling me you live in a house with pets. I'll go first. Dog hair on my books. Okay, it was probably more cat hair than dog hair. It doesn't matter. Into the Whirlwind by Elizabeth Camden. As owner of the 57th Illinois Watch Company, Molly Knox's future looks bright until the night the legendary Great Chicago Fire destroys her beloved city. With her world crumbling around her, Molly will do whatever it takes to rebuild in the aftermath of the devastating fire. And then we have Zach, and he's an attorney for one of Chicago's finest department stores. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about Chicago rebuilding after the Chicago Fire. So that should be interesting. Okay, now we're going to move to my TBR cart. And do I just want to grab the books and then stack them and then put them back? Probably. That would probably be the easiest. Okay, we'll just scoot this over here. You won't be able to see it, but it's okay. Okay, first we have The Red Cottage by Hannah Linder. This is her newest release. I think I own all of Hannah Linder's books except for one. And I've only read 2 of them, but I own all of them because I really like them. Hannah Linder's books are like Regency suspense. So this one says, she forgot she loved him. He died to make her remember. So she's attacked and she wakes up in the arms of an eloquent lord. She remembers nothing, not even her own name. And I don't think they're married, but it's the guy she was in love with is trying to make him remember her. And there's danger. Somebody wants her dead for some reason. So the cover's super pretty on that one. These all have super pretty covers. Then we have The Girl from the Hidden Forest by Hannah Linder. This says the nightmares may free her, but destroy the man she loves. And she has lived in the hidden forest as long as she can remember. Perhaps her only friends are the trees or her little dog or her storytelling father called Captain. But at least she is safe from the cruel world outside, a world Captain has warned her against and protected her from. That sounds a little suspicious. That sounds suspicious to me. That cover is super pretty. And it has a little doggy on it. Okay, When Tomorrow Came, Hannah Linder. This is about siblings abandoned by their father and abused by their guardian. They have no choice but to survive on the London streets. When a kind gentleman rescues the girl from such a life, the siblings are separated and raised in 2 vastly different social worlds. Just when both are beginning to flourish and years have healed some of their wounds, their long-awaited father returns and reunites them, bringing demands with him. Interesting. That sounds suspicious as well. Okay, and then I have The Starlit Spy by Rachel Scott McDaniel. And I'm trying to think, hold on. I just had a thought. Oh, I found them. Okay, we'll go over those when I get there then. This is part of the Heroines of World War II series. This is about a Hollywood star turned spy. Full of intrigue, adventure, and romance, this series celebrates unsung heroes, the women of World War II. I think this is based on a true story. I think all of these are based on true stories. Is that right? Or am I wrong? This one has by far the most truth woven into each chapter, so I encourage you to read the author's notes at the end. You may be surprised at what's actually true. Okay, so it might not be based on a true story, but there's lots of true events in it, I guess. Okay, and then we have some Tracy Peterson. This is her Love on the Santa Fe series. I don't know if this is the right order for these books, but we have Beyond Desert Sands, Under the Starry Skies, and Along the Rio Grande. I actually think this is the first one. So maybe it'll tell me in here. Love on the Santa Fe. Along the Rio Grande. Okay. Okay. This is book 1. This is book 2. And this is book 3. Okay, so book 1 is Her Compassion Doing More Harm Than Good. Recently widowed Susanna Jenkins has decided to follow her family to the booming town of San Marcial, I don't think that's how you say that, New Mexico, for a fresh start and to aid in her family's sudden change in fortune. They are tasked with managing her uncle's new grand hotel, and it takes all her patience to try to help her parents see the good of their circumstances and relinquish their sense of entitlement. So, that is that Tracy Peterson series. I like Tracy Peterson. It's been a while since I've read her because I read so much that I needed a break. But I really want to get back into reading some of her books. Okay. Chasing the Sun, Land of the Lone Star, book 1. I talked about this in my book haul. So, don't really need to talk about it again. But I'm looking forward to that one because it has characters from a previous series that I wanted to read about. Is this all? Nope, these are the same series though. Okay, so then we have The Heart of Alaska, book 1, In the Shadow of Denali. I think this used to be a library book. I got it used, but oh yeah, it says public library on it. Well, that's kind of a bummer. I wonder if there's a way to get, is there a way to get, does anybody know? Is there a way to get this library binding off? Can anybody tell me? Do you know? Without ruining the cover. And then I have book 2, Out of the Ashes. So this says their future depends on unlocking the secrets the mountain holds from the past. Cassidy Ivanoff and her father John work at the new and prestigious Curry Hotel near the foot of Mount McKinley, Denali as it's called by the natives. John is the wilderness and exploration guide for the wealthy tourists while Cassidy works in the kitchen as cook's assistant. The entire staff buzzes with excitement during the busy days preparing for the president's imminent visit, his historic trip to dedicate the new national park on his way to driving in the Golden Spike to officially complete the Alaska Railroad will be the beginning of a new era for all of them and place the Curry at the heart of Alaska. That's book 1 and book 2. I don't have book 3. I'll probably collect it one of these days. And then we have The Heart's Choice. This is book 1 in the Jewels of Kalispell. This one sounds really interesting because she is the first female court reporter in Montana, and she's determined to defend the innocent. During a murder trial, something doesn't sit well with her about the case, but no one except the handsome new Carnegie librarian will listen to her. That sounds really good. Plus, all the covers in this series especially are super, super pretty. Oh, this one is with Kimberly Woodhouse. I didn't know that. Okay. I probably knew that, but I forgot. Oh, this other series is too. What do you know? If you just read the covers like a normal person, Camille, you'd probably know. Okay, and then I talked about this one in my book haul too. This is book 1 in the Heart of Cheyenne series, so it's set in Wyoming. We love to see it. And it says the heart finds its way even when one least expects it, even in the most unforgiving frontiers. I have no idea what it's about. I prefer it that way. Okay, and then we're still in historical fiction, you guys, in case you couldn't tell. Finding Lady Enderley by Joanna Davidson Politano. I haven't read this book yet, but I've heard really good things about it. So, yeah. Actually, I think the only Politano book I've read, let me find it, is, The Love Note by Joanna Davidson Politano. I'm pretty sure that's the only one I've read. But her covers are all so pretty. And I've heard such good things. I can't talk. It's been an hour, that's why. And I hear such good things about her books that I'm really excited. So this book is about Raina. It says Raina's dreams are all about to come true, but some dreams turn out to be nightmares. That's all I'm going to read, because I don't have time to read the whole blurb, because we still have like, oh, we're almost done. We're way over halfway. Okay, and then I have her newest release, The Curious Inheritance of Blakely House. Oh, this spine, this cover, look at that. It's so pretty. Okay, a clever young woman, a contested will, and an estate that does not easily give up its secrets. This is a new release, so you've probably heard more about it than these other ones, so I'm not going to talk more about it. I'm really excited to read it, though, and I think the cover is super pretty. Okay, and I don't know about this one, you guys. If you read it, can you let me know if it's worth it? Because every time I pick it up, I'm just like, This book has been sitting on my shelf for probably like almost 3 years. Okay. First my husband called, then my mom called, so hopefully we shouldn't get any more calls. Hopefully you can finish this video. Okay, so the next one on my TBR is A Silken Thread by Kim Vogel Sawyer. I'm not sure about this one. I've picked it up a couple of times, and every time I read like the first couple sentences, I've just been kind of like, it sounds fine, but I don't know if I want to keep it. So the tagline is, she had come along late in Mama's life. Her siblings always accused her of being the favorite, but must Laurel forfeit her own chance at love and a future. So I think her older siblings kind of make her take care of her mom in her old age. Something like that. So I'm not sure about that one. Every time I read the description, I'm just like, yeah, it sounds fine, but like, I don't know. Okay, we're on to the second row of my TBR cart. Then we have A Memory Between Us by Sarah Sundin. I'm pretty sure I just talked about this one in my book haul, so I'm not going to talk about it again, but Sarah Sundin, obvious. We love Sarah Sundin around here. She's great. And then we have To Steal a Heart by Jen Tarano. I think this is book 1 in the Bleecker Street Inquiry Agency. And it says, after spending her childhood as a street thief, Gabriella thought she'd put her past behind her until a fellow resident at her boarding house is unjustly accused of theft. Using her old skills to prove her friend's innocence, Gabriella unexpectedly encounters Nicholas Quinn, the man she once considered her best friend, until he abandoned her. And I'm not going to read the rest, but it's Jen Tarano, which means it's going to be like a historical fiction rom-com kind of. So at least that's how her newer books have been. So it'll be funny. Guys, this book scares the ever-living daylights out of me. Spectres in the Glass House by Jamie Jo Wright. You know me by now. You know I've only just started reading romantic suspense. You know I don't like creepy books. So you may be asking yourself, Camille, why did you buy this book? The answer is, I have no idea why I bought this book. I have no idea. This book has literally everything that terrifies me. Because it's about a serial killer, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the unsolved murders linked to an infamous serial killer. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever gather up enough courage to read this one, you guys, but I have it. So maybe someday I will. I'll just have to make sure that my husband is home, that I'm only reading it during the day, and I don't read it at night. Because if none of those 3 things are true, then I will terrify myself. And I might still end up terrifying myself. So, yeah, who knows if I'll ever read that book, actually. Okay, and then, I have a couple books. I'll talk about these ones and save that one for later. Okay, these are new purchases. A Rose for the Resistance by Angela K. Couch. This is another Heroines of World War II book. A French woman and a German soldier form a truce. When her father is in a German POW camp and her home in France is under Nazi occupation, Rosalie will do anything to keep her younger brother safe, even from his desire to join the French resistance. Then she falls into the debt of a German soldier, one who delivers a wounded British pilot to her door. Though not sure what to make of her German ally, Rosalie is thrust deep into the heart of the local underground. Sounds interesting. The cover is super pretty. And then we have Though Waters Roar by Lynn Austen. This is the blurb. It's not very long. Thank goodness you're such a plain child. You'll have to rely on your wits. So went the words of Grandma Beebe, and for all of my growing up years, I scoffed at the beauty of my sister and what I saw as her meaningless existence. But my wits hadn't served me well in this instance, for here I was in jail. And while I could have seen it as carrying on the family tradition, for Grandma Beebe landed in jail for her support of prohibition. The truth is, my reasons for being here would probably break her heart. So how did I end up becoming a criminal? I've been pondering that question all night. Perhaps the best way to search for an answer is to start at the very beginning. I really like Lynn Austen, and so far all of her books that I've read have been really good. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. We have The Girl from the Papers by Jennifer L. Wright. And this book is inspired by one of America's most notorious couples, Bonnie and Clyde. Quinn, get down. Quinn, get down. You're going to knock the books over. You may stay right there. Don't walk on the books. You may stay there. But if you walk on the books, you're going to knock them over. Don't walk on the books. Okay. Jennifer L. Wright delivers a riveting tale set during the Public Enemy era. I've been talking for too long. Of the Great Depression. So, sounds interesting. Kind of not up my alley, but it sounds interesting. So, we'll see. My cat almost knocked the books over. Quinn. Okay, and then we have one of my favorite authors ever, Rosanna M. White, Shadowed Loyalty. I've not read this book. This is one of her older books, I think. 2022. I take it all back. Okay, it's not an older book. But it is about Sabina. And she is the daughter of Chicago's leading mob boss. And the man she thought she loved turns out to be an undercover prohibition agent. And then we have Lorenzo, and his family assumed he would become a priest, but he has different ideas, marrying Sabina and pursuing a career in the law despite his morals. He knows at the core he isn't so unlike his mafiosi father and brothers. Shadowed Loyalty, set amid the glitz and scandal of the roaring 20s, examines what love really means and how we draw lines between family and our own convictions, especially when following one could mean losing the other. That sounds really good. Obviously. Of course, it's going to be good. It's Rosanna M. White. Never have I ever read a book of hers that I didn't love. Then we have Love Amid the Ashes. This book, by Messu Andrews. This is a book about Job, and actually it says when her beloved grandfather Isaac dies. Okay, so now we're going from historical fiction to biblical fiction. Then we will go from biblical fiction to contemporary, and then I have like 3 classics. Dinah must follow his final command, travel to Job's household and marry his son. After Job's world comes crashing down, Dinah finds herself drawn to this great man brought low. What will she risk to fight for his survival? Messu Andrews weaves an emotional and stirring account of Job and Dinah. Love Amid the Ashes breathes life, romance, and passion into the biblical story of suffering and steadfast faith. So, interesting. I don't know. We'll see. I've read a couple other Messu Andrew books, and I really liked them. Where are they? Isaiah's Daughter and Brave. Okay. And then, speaking of Brave, we have Noble by Messu Andrew. This is book 2 in the King David's Bride series. And this is about Princess Macaw. I don't know. And yeah. So this is book 2 in the King David's Bride series. So I'm excited to read that one. Pre-ordered that one and I still haven't read it. That's a theme. Have you noticed that? Okay. Then we have The Centurion's Wife by Davis Bunn and Jeanette Oak. And it says, a sweeping saga of the dramatic events surrounding the birth of Christianity and the very personal story of Leah, compelled into a betrothal she never wanted, and drawn by a faith she never expected. Okay, so this is about the Pontius Pilate's wife. That should be interesting. That's a whole series. So if I like that book, then I have a whole new biblical fiction series to read. Okay, and then we have Judah's Wife by Angela Hunt. Confession, I started this book when I was like 17 or 18 and I didn't like it. But I decided that I need to give it another chance. So it says to be silent would be to deny their God, and to defy would bring the wrath of the king. It's about this. The series is called The Silent Years, and it says it is a novel of the Maccabees. The Maccabees are the people who restored the temple. Yeah, I think so. In the Old Testament. And then we have Egypt's Sister. And this says this is also in the Silent Years series. And it is a novel of Cleopatra. Okay, let's see if we can get through this video because now my phone's telling me I don't have enough storage space. So, you don't know her name. The world only remembers her greatest friend, Cleopatra. And then we have, this is my last biblical fiction. Okay, Daughter of Rome by Angela Hunt. In Nero's Rome, Calandra helps her father, a renowned sculptor, complete the most significant commission of his illustrious career, but then a catastrophic fire nearly destroys the imperial city, leaving Calandra reliant on a group of Christians, unusual individuals unlike any she has encountered before. Intrigued by their worship of the son of an invisible god, she grapples with her mistrust only to find herself indebted to these believers as they help her rebuild her shattered world. This is technically book 3, but I'm pretty sure they're all kind of standalone. Alright, and then the first book in my contemporary is Starring Me by Krista McGee. I found this in my local thrift store, and it was like less than $1. And I've seen Lindsay from BFCG talk about it, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it because less than $1. Kara McCormick is told she's auditioning to star in a new teen variety show. It's what she isn't told that could change her life. So it's just like a YA Christian novel. So Lindsay has good things to say about it, which means it's probably pretty good. So we'll see what I think about it. I don't know when I'm going to read it. It could be a while, but that's okay. Okay, I talked about these books in my book haul. We have Ambush and Prowl by Colleen Coble, romantic suspense with an animal sanctuary. So that's intriguing to me, the animal sanctuary bit. And then I also talked about this book, Double Take by Lynette Eason, in my book haul. Again, this has I'm pretty sure it has the killer's POV in it, so I don't know if I'm gonna like this one, but if not, I'll just give it to my sister because she'll probably love it. Did I talk about this one? I think I did. Stranded by Danny Petrie. This is book 3 in the Alaskan Courage series. I'm pretty sure that one was also in my book haul. And then this book, we're almost done, I've had on my TBR since it came out. I pre-ordered it in 2024. The Divine Proverb of Streusel by Sarah Brunsfold. Shaken by her parents' divorce and discouraged by the growing chasm between herself and her serious boyfriend, Nikki seeks solace at her uncle's farm in a small Missouri hamlet. She'll spend the summer there picking up the pieces of her shattered present so she can plan a better future, but what awaits her at the ancestral farm is the past, one she barely knows. That's only half of it, but that's fine. I don't know why I haven't picked this book up yet, except for it's not romance, which I can sometimes do, but not all the time. And I also don't want it to be sad, and I'm a little worried that it's going to be sad, so that's probably the other reason I haven't picked it up. Okay, and then we have some rom-coms. We have Just Don't Fall by Emma St. Clair. I don't buy a ton of rom-coms before I read them, so we'll see how this goes. Before Logan Barnes was hockey's hottest bad boy, he was my brother's best friend and my first crush. Well, now we know why I bought it, because brother's best friend, first crush. Duh, I don't even have to read anymore. The Makeup and the Duet by Haley Gardner. This better be the last clip I have to make. My phone storage does not like me. Okay, we have The Makeup and the Duet by Haley Gardner. This one is Best Friends to More, and this one is, oh boy, what's a girl's, oh, brother's best friend. Okay. And then I have, these are my last two rom-coms. The Happy Life of Isadora Bentley and Everything is Coming Up Rosy by Courtney Walsh. This one says she's out to prove that there's no such thing as choosing happiness. And this one, what happens when your big dreams don't turn out like you thought they would. So Courtney Walsh is always a good choice, you guys. Courtney Walsh is always a good choice. Okay, and then I have 3 more. Come on, phone. Let me talk about 3 more books, and then you can die. And then you can yell at me for how much storage space I don't have left. Okay, the first book is so tall I can't get it out. Okay, George MacDonald's Fantasy Classics Collection. So in this book, we have Fantasties, The Light Princess, The Princess and the Goblin, and Lilith. I think I mainly bought this book for Fantasties because Fantasties is the book that C.S. Lewis, like, it's like the first Christian, like, book. It's the book that inspired C.S. Lewis to learn more about Christianity. So I really want to read it. I'm going to read all of them eventually, but I think Fantasties is going to be the first one. And then I have Beowulf, translated by J.R.R. Tolkien. I don't know when I'm going to read this. I'd like to read it this year. He completed his translation of Beowulf in 1926. He returned to it later to make hasty corrections, but seems never to have considered its publication. This edition includes an illuminating commentary on the poem by the translator himself, drawn from a series of lectures he gave at Oxford in the 1930s. So that'll probably be really good. I have to exercise my classics brain. It's been a while since I've had to do that, since high school, actually. So that'll be good for me. And then we have Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey. Apparently, Anne McCaffrey was one of the most successful and beloved writers of all time. She was honored as a Grand Master by the Science Fiction Writers of America, joining such giants as Ursula K. Le Guin, Arthur C. Clarke, and Ray Bradbury in the literary pantheon. Of all her books, none were more influential than the first 3 volumes of the Dragon Riders of Pern series, Dragonflight, Dragon Quest, and The White Dragon, books that inspired generations of writers and millions of readers. So you can see why I want to read it. Plus, dragons. Need I say more? Okay. That's all the books on my physical TBR, you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this video because my phone really did not want to let me finish. I had to go through and delete a bunch of my Spotify music and my audiobooks I had downloaded, and I'll just remove downloads, and I had to delete a bunch of old videos, and I really need to go through my camera roll and purge stuff, I feel like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave me a like, and if you have anything to say about any of these books, should I read them, should I not, will I like them, will I not, I want all the opinions. If you've read them, put them in the comments, and yeah, subscribe if you enjoyed. If you are subscribed, make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified when I post a new video. I'm trying to post a new video once a week. It depends on what day of the week that is, but once a week is my goal. Now I have a mess to clean up with all my books. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want If you want to know more places you can find me, I am on Instagram. The Cozy Peddler is my Bookstagram account, and C.A. Mose Writes is my writing account that I just started. So if you guys want to follow me there, that would be much appreciated. If you do already follow me there, thank you so much. And I also started a Substack, which is also under C.A. I think it's C.A. Moseman Writes, I believe. So I will leave the link for all 3 of those places down in the comments below. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely lovely rest of your day, guys. Bye!